And joining me in the studio tonight from the Broward Republican Party is Clarence McKee, and from the Broward Democratic Party, Mitch Caesar. Thank you guys both so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We have a lot to get to, so let's get right to it. We just heard Professor Kevin Hill opening the show from Florida International University, talking about the historical pattern of a presidential election based on our economy. Gentlemen, is this the most important issue coming into this election as far as you're concerned?
I think it is without question. You know, you talk to the average person, not the bank executive or the corporate trader, and everybody's business is down, everybody's concerned, healthcare costs are going up. I think the economy, just like it was in '92, and the slogan by Bill Clinton at the time was, "It's the economy, stupid." I think it really does apply now. People are really a little bit diverted from the war because the economy is such a giant question.
I think the economy probably in the next 7 to 8 months will probably get back on track. We've had a lot of things going on, but it's the economy, stupid, of course, was very well and very good in '92. But now I think we're turning it around. The stock market's picking up, and people will look long term as to what's better for themselves in terms of national security as well. It's not just the economy, but also getting into a place, administration that has less taxes, because raising taxes is a killer on the pocketbook. So that's the other issue, and that's why this campaign is so important, because our party is the party of less taxes and more tax cuts to help the economic situation.
You know, I think it's interesting because the economy really is pervasive. It affects the lower classes, the middle classes, everybody. Yes. And you look at car sales being down and so forth. And although it's true Democrats do better when the economy is at the forefront, even saying that, we really do believe that's the key issue. And I don't know about you, but I fear my mailman coming every month who brings the monthly statements of how the stock market's doing. I don't look forward to seeing him like I used to years ago.
Let me stop you for 1 second. Explain really quickly your involvement with the Democratic Party, your involvement with the Republican Party, just so that everyone is aware.
I'm the chairman of the Broward County Democratic Party, which is the largest Democratic Party, largest county Democratic organization in Florida, and I'm also a member of the Democratic National Committee, which these days brings with it different pluses and minuses.
Yeah, Mitch is a superdelegate, which we can get into. I'm Communications Chairman of the Broward Republican Party. Broward County is a very important county, not that all the others aren't, the other 67, but in terms of the Republican Party, if you want to carry the state of Florida as a Republican, you have to come out of Broward County with a significant percentage of that vote. If you don't carry Broward County, you're probably not going to carry the state of Florida. That's why, and I think it's pretty much the same thing with the Democrats. That's why Florida is such an important state, and that's why Broward County is so important to both parties, the Republican and Democratic Party, nationally.
Yeah, I want to hit on that a little bit. Let me go back quickly to the economy for 1 second. Can we briefly, and we're going to narrow down and focus on the three top candidates in the news every single day that everyone's aware of: Obama, Clinton, and McCain. Can you discuss what their strategies are with regard to the economy?
Listen, the first thing I can say is both Obama and Clinton are going to be raising taxes. They have these billions and billions of dollars worth of programs for health care, gift baskets for everybody. No one has a problem. From birth to death, you'll be covered. It's going to cost money. It's going to cost raising taxes. Republican Party, and Mr. McCain particularly, will be for lowering taxes and having programs that help the economic situation of the family, not forced down your throat big government. It'll be a less taxes situation.
I have to say, my friend Clarence is a great advocate for the Republican Party, and he remembered his bullet points really well. I think the real question is the fact that how many people are working, what is people's standard of living, are people working harder than ever before just to barely maintain their same sense of living? And I'm talking about the middle class as well as other classes. And I don't think that we're living as well. You look at polls, people are much more pessimistic about their future than they ever were. I think the American people are ready for change. We've had 7 or perhaps almost 8 years of George Bush. I think this nation's going to turn its way towards perhaps, if not back to the future, at the very least, a significant departure from where we've experienced the last 7 or 8 years.
Raising the minimum wage consistently has been proven to hurt the lower-income community the most. Kids, teenagers trying to get jobs, you raise the minimum wage, it hurts them. It's been proven that. And that's been a big Democratic program. It sounds good, but places like McDonald's or local grocery stores, when you start raising minimum wage, kids are not going to get jobs. Also, back to the economy. Of course, it's important, but the big thing with the economy is getting more money into circulation, more money into people's pockets. It means taxing them less and cutting the taxes that they already have to pay, so you can get more money out. For example, the rebates that are going back to people around the country. It's to get more money out into the structure of the economy, and people will spend it. People have to have money to spend, and not to have money to send to the government.
And I do think absolutely that in South Florida, as this is where we live, that the economy is of particular importance. We've seen in the headlines the foreclosure rates are very high here. We have a demographic that I think in some ways struggles. We have some challenges in our economy. What can you say, Clarence, about the need for change as we've had 8 years with a Republican in office? Is there something to say about that? And is John McCain the type of candidate who can separate and yet still unite?
Of course. We talk about change versus experience and things of this sort. He can unite. He's a man of national hero, experience in terms of Washington, D.C., foreign policy, broad base of support, independence. No matter what you're about conservatives, he does have a lot of conservative support. Change is relative. Change from everyday life where you're struggling because the government's taking too much of your taxes, that will be something he'll deal with. Also, one of the things hiding behind all of these issues is having a very strong foreign policy and good national security.
Let me stop you for a second and go back to something. We're going to try to come back to that. I want to just ask something here that is, I think, one of the biggest questions in my mind, particularly with the type of election, the type of structure that we have this presidential campaign in. How important strategically is winning the state of Florida in a general election?
Oh, it's essential. Just look back for the last 4 years.
Let me say that, and I think we will both agree on this, I'm pretty sure, and that is Republicans, based on the electoral map and the math, have to win Florida. They have to.
Why?
Because it's 27 electoral votes, which is more than in previous cycles based on population, and just their map, their arithmetic doesn't work without Florida. Democrats can win the presidency without Florida, and in fact, especially because the far west, Colorado, other states are now in play, they give us a really good chance we can win without Florida. But conversely, I think it's universally agreed that if Democrats win Florida, that's the ball game. For them, it's a must. For us, it's a we would like it to be.
What is the breakdown of? Is it true that we have a very almost equal balance of registered Republicans and registered Democrats in the state?
With 4.2 million Democrats, 3.9 million Republicans, I think is very close.
Pretty close.
Very close. What about the independent vote? I think that it is one of the last people we heard in the Man on the Street interviews.
He had switched
over. Don't we have almost?
Yeah,
and don't we have almost 25% of the state coming in as independent?
Well, it's a growing trend, and I think not only in Florida but all across the nation of independents becoming more and more of a factor. You know, Florida's the ultimate swing state. The four biggest states are Texas, which usually goes Republican, New York and California, which usually go Democratic, and then Florida, which is usually a toss-up. It's the only one of the four megastates that's always in play, always questionable, always the center of the political universe. I continue to see that as the case, not only in 08, but indefinitely, because of the independent vote.
Independents are very important. Let's take the Hispanic community, for example. In statewide, I think we have 312,000 registered Republican Hispanic voters. Independent, 412,000, I think. Same thing with black voters in terms of registered Republican versus independent. There's a growing number of registered or non-affiliated voters. So both candidates and both parties are very concerned about getting to the independent vote.